Have you ever had a situation where you're thinking about something, like maybe you buy a new vehicle or you're in a new house or you've got a new color of vehicle, whatever it is, and all of a sudden before you had it, you never saw it anywhere. And yet, or a new dress or a new shirt or whatever it is, and all of a sudden when you buy it, you see it everywhere around you. You're like, how did I miss this? This is something that is going to start a new series for me. It's called Confirmation Bias. I'm going to start a series on biases, psychological biases that we have, and how they interact with our lives. Once you understand a few of these, you'll start to see them everywhere around you. And with that self-awareness, you can start using them for your own benefit instead of getting caught up in them in negative ways, all right? So confirmation bias, it's when we're thinking about something subconsciously, and when we're thinking about something subconsciously, we start to see it around us consciously all the time. So what other areas do we see this? Well, have you ever heard the phrase like a thief believes everyone is always stealing from them, or a liar thinks everyone else is lying to them? Those kind of idioms or those kind of phrases come from the same idea. If you are doing something wrong, then you start to see that wrong thing all over the place, everywhere around you, okay? If you're doing something right, you start to see that all over the place. So the first way that you can see this in your life is negativity or positivity. If you're a positive person, if you're thinking, if everything is always really good for you, then you tend to see the good things in other people. My wife is a great example of this. Really, really innocent. We got married, and actually just before we got married, something really bad happened to her, where somebody treated her with a lot of disrespect and did a lot of wrong things, okay? Had their own agenda. When I talked to my wife Teresa about this, she would say, oh no, well maybe this happened, or maybe this happened, or maybe this was going on in their lives, and this was what they were reacting to. She was trying to see the good in them. The reason she was seeing good in them is because she honestly believed that people are good in their hearts. So that's what she tended to see. If you are a positive person, you're going to tend to see the good things around you and the positive things around you. Now that's not rose-colored glasses. That's what you see. So something you can practice is saying, that's good. I'm thankful for this. When you practice gratitude and you practice the things that are good in your life, you're going to start to see them everywhere around you. Guess what that's going to do for your attitude? It's going to steamroll. There's going to be momentum. You're going to start seeing great things all around you more of the time. And when you see great things around you more of the time, you get to interact with them, your life tends to be better. You start to see opportunities instead of all the negativity, okay? On the other side of things, there are people, you know them, maybe you are them, okay? You've got people in your lives that maybe like for us, it's always like maybe an older generation person, okay? That's the stereotype. It's not true all the time. There are negative people all around us all the time, but they're the person that spends all their time watching the news. They're always telling you about what's going wrong with their lives, with other people. They've got conspiracy theories about the government and everyone else. But they're focused on negativity. So no matter what you say, like, hey, isn't it a beautiful day? They'll complain about something. Okay? You say, hey, you won $1 million. Are you excited about it? And they're like, all these stupid people around me want my money. Okay? Like, no matter what happens, they're going to complain about it. Now, for those people, start ignoring them. That's going to be one thing that you need to do for yourself, okay? But secondly, and if you are one of these people, what I want you to do is a few things. One is I want you to stop watching the news. Not because the news is evil, but because the news focuses on sensational type stories. And sensational type stories tend to be the rapes and murders and child molestations and world wars and I don't know, corruption in the government and fighting between countries, whatever it is. When you're paying attention to those things, when you see them all over, when you're thinking about them, you start to think that they're everywhere. Watch people with their children. Watch people with their children, and it's a dead giveaway on what they're thinking about all the time. If you watch some parents, they're like, my kid will be fine. Not that they don't care about their kid. They love their kid, but their kid will be fine. And their kid plays with freedom and enjoys the life, okay? Those parents believe that the world is generally good and that their kids are very capable, and if their kid runs into a tough spot, they're around or the kid can figure it out, okay? Other people believe that there's a child molester on every corner. So no matter what they do, they're secretive and they're careful, and they helicopter parent, and they do everything around their kids to make sure that they're safe every second of every day because something might go wrong. Now listen, I'm not making fun of people that do that in the sense that you're useless people or you're horrible or you're awful people. What I'm saying is, listen, that's not going to get what you want in life. If you're so focused on fear and on what's going wrong, you don't open yourself up to the possibilities of what's going right. So here's the challenge, here's the next challenge. Same thing that I talked about with the first group, and that is start looking for the good in things. Start assuming things are good. Start looking for the good in things. And once you start training your brain in this way, once you start being thankful for what you have and the things that are incredible around you, and you start enjoying the beauty of nature and your family and relationships and dynamics, even when there's something that's frustrating. I had a great grandma that was a great example of this. Anytime a baby was screaming, she would say something like, "Oh man, this is hard in some ways, but isn't it great that they're using their lungs and they're getting strong and they're becoming who they need to become for the rest of their lives?" She had this great attitude. You can, as you get older, you can either become, my dad always used to say this, you can become bitter or you can become better. What are you going to do? Become bitter or better? Because when you train your brain that way, you start to see life that way. And when you start to see life in a certain way, you're not going to have certain opportunities. Some people train their minds to say there's an opportunity everywhere. And that because they're thinking about that all the time, guess what they see everywhere? They see opportunities. And guess what they're able to take advantage of? Opportunities. If you believe that everyone's out to get you, you're going to live a miserable life. So I want you to make the choice right now to start changing your brain, start changing how your subconscious mind works so that you can start to see the good in other people. You can start to see the good in life. You can start to see the value and the opportunities around you. Because when that happens, you're going to do amazing things. There are more wealthy people, extremely wealthy people, created in like the 1930s and after the 2008 kind of North American crazy money bubble came about, the mortgage crisis. There were more people that became extremely wealthy after those times than any time before those times. And this is why. Those are the people always looking for opportunities. And I'm going to use a quote by Warren Buffett. He says, when people get greedy, become scared. When everyone starts talking about this is the investment to get into, become scared. Because it's already done, most likely. When people become scared, then that's the time to look for opportunities. That's the time where you go out and go, I'm going to take opportunities. Yes, everything looks bad. I'm going to take these opportunities, and you buy something on pennies on the dollar and do really well. Start to assume the best. Start catching your kids, your partner, the people around you, your colleagues, your boss, your employees. Start catching them doing things right. So instead of making a comment every time they do something wrong, oh, you could have done it this way. Start trying to catch somebody. At least one thing for every person important to you in your life that makes a difference in your life and you make a difference to theirs. Catch them doing something right. And start saying, hey, listen, you're doing this, you do this every day and you do a fantastic job every single day. Watch how your life changes. Enact this one action step and watch how your life changes. Watch how your relationships change. Watch how your attitude changes. Watch how people react to you and how your business changes. I want you to try this out for 2 weeks. Every day for 2 weeks, do this. And then I want you to tell me about it. Comment on this, okay? Ask me questions about it. I'm happy to interact with you guys. And as we do that, you're going to start to see amazing changes in your life. Enjoy this process, okay? Start influencing yourself in the way that you want to grow. Start focusing on opportunities in relationships if you want relationships. Start focusing on opportunities in physical health, if that's what you're after, or emotional or mental health, if that's what you're after, okay? As you do this, you will automatically find answers because that's what your mind is automatically focused on already. Use this to your advantage. Confirmation bias is not good or bad. It simply is. And if you use it to your advantage, you're going to see massive results.